Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of Galactic Reviews. This week, as Christmas is starting to creep ever closer, we decided to watch the new Red One, starring a whole laundry list of A-listers. Essentially, Santa Claus, J.K. Simmons gets kidnapped, and his lead bodyguard, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, chooses a fourth class, right? Class?
Fourth, a level
Fourth
four naughty
level?
lister.
Level four, a fourth level naughty lister,
Level four
Chris
naughty
Evans,
lister.
to help find him because he is the best tracker in the world, I guess, and ensues a whole bunch of hijinks to save Santa Claus before Christmas. Overall, wasn't expecting too much, didn't get too much. I would put this in the category of turn off brain movies. You can just kind of sit, watch a couple of laughs, watch some A-listers, do a not serious movie, see J.K. Simmons in fantastic shape and enjoy every second that the villain is on screen. Essentially, it had some gags, but I could kind of tell that the actors were just kind of relaxing. This is not a serious movie. Overall, just kind of fun. Um, Probably like a 5 out of 10. I was going to give it a six, and then I realized a six would be a 3 out of 5 stars, and I was like, I'm not giving this 3 out of 5 stars. Just a five. Like there was times where like I genuinely laughed and I thought the jokes were funny. I was surprised by how well the CGI was for most of the movie. Not all of it, but most of the movie. I was like, wow, this looks better than Marvel right now. Surprised for that. Massive budget. This movie had a massive budget,
Mm.
and I guess they did what they want to do, just make it fun, turn your brain off, action comedy in the Halloween and the sorry Christmas genre. Just a decent five. Nothing great, nothing awful. Just like wow, haha, had some laughs.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. It was just yeah, it could definitely go in that category of just mindless fun movie. It's more so in the Christmas genre. It's just meant to be a fun, turn your brain off Christmas movie that's action packed and has some thrills in there. Also has some weird lore stuff in there as well that I wasn't expecting for a
Yeah,
like you had Krampus, the headless horseman in there made a cameo. I guess what would surmount to be abominable snowmen.
yeah, pretty much. Christmas
So
Witch. The lore was interesting, but it never
yeah,
got too confusing. I wish they explained a
no,
little bit of more about what Santa Claus could do.
yeah, they never got
Because
too in depth, but
yeah, in the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie, he just shouted some random gibberish, and then
yeah,
cool stuff happened, I guess.
yeah,
He booted up his, he activated his
yeah,
reindeer, I guess.
yeah. I didn't really have a problem with much of anything except for maybe the kid actor.
Yeah, he wasn't great. He
No, he
really
was not.
wasn't.
He wasn't good, but everything else I thought was fine and nice and well done. I don't want to say it's the kid actor's fault. He probably doesn't have any experience, but
He just wasn't great. He just wasn't super believable. It seemed
yeah,
very like amateurish acting, which
yeah,
good for them, I guess, for choosing a young actor trying to break onto the scene, giving him experience.
yeah,
He wasn't in it enough to really impact
yeah.
the rest
No,
of
and
the
that's
movie.
probably the saving grace of that with him being in there. Yeah, no, it
One
was
thing
a
I found really interesting was like a reverse prep and landing that they did for the Santa delivering the presents. Because remember that Disney Pixar yeah, that just Disney miniseries Prep and Landing with the elves. How like the elves did all the work and they just kind of like buried Santa in there to place a present down every once in a while.
yeah.
This
They did
was very
this.
much the reverse of that, where
They did the
Santa was
same. I
just
think they did the
flipping
same
all
thing.
around.
I think they did the same thing with Arthur Christmas.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, this one they kind of brought it back to Santa does a lot of the work. The elves
I
help build
liked
the
what they
stuff,
did.
but yeah,
I liked what they did. I really did. I thought it was an interesting take. Not being so crazy that you're like, ah, this isn't Santa. But everything was justifiable enough to being like, okay,
yeah,
like this is Santa enough.
yeah,
I think this was The Rock's one of Dwayne Johnson's coolest roles I've ever seen him do. Not talking about the personality of the character because his character's personalities always seem to be very 2D.
Yeah.
Um,
Very,
he
very
doesn't,
much copy and paste for most
yeah,
of them.
but as far as like what this character could do, I like this, and I thought this guy was more badass than she's Black Adam was.
Yeah, as sad as that sounds, that's correct. Black Adam wasn't that well done for his character,
Mm-mm,
but yeah.
mm-mm. This guy seems like he could beat Black Adam.
I no, I don't think so, but
Oh, I know.
you definitely get more of a character attachment to this character
Yeah,
than Black Adam.
I think the fight scenes were very well choreographed.
Yeah, they were
Um, they
decently
were all
thought
very
through.
imaginative.
They were thought
Um,
through,
they
imaginative.
weren't too quick. They didn't drag on too long. One thing I didn't like is the choice of villain because like everyone knows who Santa is. You can accept like the new lore with as like retinue of like bodyguards and elf
Yeah,
um and like the divisions under him. Every most people know who Krampus is, and if you don't, you probably have heard the name, and if you don't, well, okay.
yeah,
Krampus has been pretty big for a while, at least with the horror movies they made out of him, and then the old folk tales.
yeah.
But just like some random Christmas witch that, as far as I know, it just kind of felt out of place.
I
Like I
don't know.
didn't feel any familiarity with the villain. It was just kind of like, who are you? Why did you take Santa? I feel like
Yeah,
they didn't give her enough background.
I feel like that's a lore thing that if you were to look into it, you'd find out what kind, like what she is and everything. But I don't know. Part of me also thinks that might be a. I think her character's kind of based off of Elsa from, or Elsa's based off of Christmas Witch, maybe, or something along those
Yeah, so
lines.
she is from an
So,
Icelandic folklore.
so
So
yeah,
yeah,
that
she's in the
that
same
was that.
vein as Krampus,
Yeah,
just not as popular.
yeah. So I think that's kind of funny that they essentially put Frozen and made Frozen the bad guy in this movie, which will
Yes.
probably make a lot of parents that have watched that movie 200 times happy. Frozen's the villain in this
Yes.
movie.
I will say that oh, apparently Elsa is not based on Gorilla, the Christmas witch.
Oh, she's not?
No.
Oh, I thought she was because of Icelandic.
Oh, she's based on the Snow Queen from Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale.
Uh, well, she still looked a lot like Elsa in this in her human form, so that was still kind of funny.
Yeah, I will say that if that Russian lady wanted to kidnap me, she would not have had to kidnap me. Just send me a text.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Leave the 13 sons. Leave them at home.
And don't turn in your ogre form, please.
Or do.
All right, now
Have you seen those videos with like the hear me out cakes where it's a group of friends, they'll have like a big cake in front of them and they each have like uh toothpicks with like a character that they printed out on them. And then like the concept of like, okay, hear me out. Just hear me out
yeah,
with characters they want to bang.
yeah,
I saw Krampus and I was like, he's going immediately on someone's cake. I was like, immediately someone's gonna be like, I want him. And then I saw Gorilla in her ogre form and I was like, oh, who in one movie? She's got tentacles. Oh.
My God. What happened to good old fashioned foreplay?
Yep. Overall, just fun. If you
yeah,
just want a fun laugh movie, you can get some drinks, order a pizza. You're
yeah.
not sitting down to watch The Lord of the Rings. Just you'll have some laughs. I'll probably wait till this comes out on streaming services. If you want to be picky about which movies you go see in theater or not.
Uh,
It's just fun. It was kind of fun to see Chris Evans in a comedy role again.
I don't
He's
know
been
what
getting
else
a
is
lot of
out.
more serious roles
Yeah. Well, I think this
since
might
Captain
pick up.
America.
I think this might pick up for Christmas. So if like more people want to go see this during Christmas time, and
Yeah. It's fun.
quite honestly, it probably wouldn't be a bad Christmas movie to go see in theaters, but
No,
it also
I
wouldn't
feel
be
like it's
bad to
definitely
wait either. So,
I feel like it's very much trying to ride off the coattails of how successful Violent Night was, but it's
mm,
a different genre,
yeah, maybe.
and it's just, I guess, not as fun. Or at least I thought Violent Night was better.
Well, I didn't care that much for Violent Night, but and
It
I
was
said
Die
that.
Hard, but with Santa.
Yeah, and I didn't really care for that interpretation of Santa, although I did. Like I did
He
find
had a
the fight
hammer.
scenes. I did find the fight scenes fun in that movie. I just did not care that much for the story at all.
I understand. I
And
understand.
whereas this one, I liked the story. I didn't mind the acting, and I thought the lore, the sprinkling of the lore throughout it was wonderfully done. So I'd probably give this a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah, I J.K. Simmons did a very good Santa.
yeah, despite him not being like looking like the fat Santa, he was still a decent Santa.
Yeah, and I guess they justified that by all the acrobatics that he does
Yeah, well they
for the
tried to
house.
yeah, they tried to justify it and it worked. I don't know if I want to see it this be a common trope for how they do
Oh yeah, no, no,
Santas.
no. I like traditional classic Santa. I feel
This
like
is
most people do.
this is a
But
one and
for
done.
this
Like
movie,
this is a one and
yeah.
done. This is good. You tried it. Now don't do it again, please.
Yeah.
For
I honestly thought the whole movie that Cal was gonna still retire and he was gonna kind of hand off his position to Kevin, whatever his Chris Evans character's name was.
yeah, I don't know his name either.
It was some basic white guy name.
Yeah,
Chris, maybe? I don't
Cal.
know. No,
No,
that was
Cal was.
Dwayne.
I don't know what his name was.
Lex? No.
No, it wasn't Lex.
Oh well. Chris Evans' character. I really thought he was gonna take over the role. I thought he was gonna take over the job.
No.
Because he was gonna get nicer. He was gonna figure he'd be like, oh my goodness, I need to stop living this life. I need to be with my son. I need a good job. And he's like, well, if you need a job, that guy's retiring.
Well, no, I was thinking they might hire him to be like a sort of a tech liaison for the group so this doesn't happen anymore. Or
That's
this
true.
that
That
this
would
doesn't
work too. Yeah,
happen
he's definitely
again.
more tech than muscle.
Savvy than most of the guys that they have there. I don't know. They kind of glimpsed over like they have a tech crew, but they don't really do much of anything.
Yeah, they just
This,
monitor, and then
yeah.
emergencies happen, and they're
So
like, oh.
yeah, this is a good movie.
Well, I'll do this then, because Zach is absent, but it is his turn, so we wanted to make the choice not explicitly ours. Gladiator 2.
All right.
Cool. I'm gonna have to rewatch the first one because I have
I'm
not
gonna
seen
have to
it.
watch the
Or
first one.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
I'm gonna have to watch the first one. I haven't ever seen that one.
It's got the Joker in it.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Galactic Reviews. Join us next time. We'll be watching Gladiator 2. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.